You're the guy that put up "Play Like a Champion" today at Notre Dame.
What happened? I go to Notre Dame. I go to the library, and I get all the books on Notre Dame history, football. And I see a picture in this old book, "Play Like a Champion Today." And I said, what happened to that sign? It was right above the entranceway to Notre Dame. I mean, it was a Notre Dame picture. Nobody had ever heard of it. Nobody knew anything about it. So I said, I want that picture. I want that sign printed exactly the way it was then. And I said, I want that. We're going to put it up, and we're going to hit that sign. And every time you do it, you're going to think about the great players that came before you, about the obligation you have representing the University of Notre Dame, about all the sacrifices your family and friends made for you to be here. I want all this to go through your mind to understand when you go through that, you got to play like a champion today, not necessarily for you, but for everybody that enabled you to be here. And that's how it came about. I didn't put it up, but I did the research.
How important at that time was winning a national championship for you personally?
I think dreams are, everybody needs four things in your life. If you don't have four things in your life, you file a tremendous void. Something to do. Everybody needs something to do. Everybody needs someone to love. Everybody needs someone to believe. But everybody needs something to hope for. Having something to hope for is critical. Martin Luther King made one of the 10 greatest speeches in the history of mankind where he said, I have a dream. He had a dream. Do you think that speech would have the same effect? Had he stood up and said, I have a strategic plan I want to show you. Strategic plans, it's dreams, it's excitement, it's belief.
This great 1988 season, you start the year ranked 13th. Miami slides up to number 1 at some point, and there's a collision course happening here between Notre Dame and Miami. How do you prepare for this game against the Miami Hurricanes?
Well, Miami came from like 14 down in the last couple of minutes to beat Michigan. And we'd beat Michigan. So I called Bo. And Bo, I love Bo Schembechler. We're great friends off the field. And I said, you played both of us. Do we have a chance to beat Miami? He said, you have a chance, but you're going to have to play awfully well. I said, all I want to hear was that we had a chance. And all year we knew that if we were going to make it to the big time, we had to beat Miami, not just because they were number 1 and defending champ. But they had beaten us 58-7 the last game before I became the head coach. They had run fake punt, reverses. They did all these different things.
They ran it up. They embarrassed Notre Dame.
Eric Parsegian's doing the TV, and he said, from these ashes, Notre Dame will rise up again. They had embarrassed us, and that was our obligation to correct that.
This is the game they called Catholics versus Convicts.
But that wasn't fair. It was inaccurate because not all our team was Catholic.
The Convicts you have no problem with.
I can't control that,
Okay.
but we weren't all Catholic.
There's a great moment that you have in the locker room before your team takes the field, and you're getting your guys psyched up, you're doing your thing, and at the end you say something to the effect of, you go out there and kick their asses, you save Jimmy Johnson for me.
No.
Like you were going to kick his ass in the parking lot after that.
What happened is, we do our pregame warm-up, they do theirs. Miami comes down, they bump our players, they run through our team. A big fight happens.
Before the game.
Before the game. Warm-up, in the end zone. And the people getting fights are the third teamers. They aren't going to play, but they go back to the dorm. Yeah, I punched a guy, you know. But now we come in the locker room after the big fight. I'm so embarrassed. Here we are, number 1 at Notre Dame, and we're the host and we treat guests like that. There is no understanding explanation that I will accept that would cause us to be in that fight. I don't care what they did. We're the host. So now we're in the locker room before the game, and I have this long speech I want to give them. And I said to them, if anybody does anything but show class during this entire game, you will not only not play the rest of this year, you will never play at Notre Dame again. I want you to go out, and I want you to play as hard as you can, but with nothing but class and just the way you conduct yourself. Now, after the game. If they want to fight in the parking lot, that's fine. We'll meet them in the parking lot. And if they do, you save Jimmy Johnson's ass for me. I hadn't planned on it. It wasn't what I wanted to say, but that's how mad I was. And I never said a word about it for 20 years. But that's exactly what happened.
We're going to run the end of the game, the highlight, in two parts. Here's the first one with your Notre Dame Fighting Irish leading Miami late in the fourth quarter.
Jimmy Johnson brings the offense. So it has come down to this play. It is fourth down. Aren't they something? Touchdown, Andre Brown. Jimmy will use a timeout. It's 31-30 at 45 seconds.
Now they'll go for two, I believe.
Touchdown. It's 31-30. So Jimmy Johnson calls timeout, and he has made the decision, as it turns out, to go for two and the win. You have an opportunity to talk to your team. I'm dying to know what you said to your defense, leading by 1 point with them going out there to try and win it.
Just everybody do what you're supposed to do. Don't try to play two positions. Have faith and trust in your team. Just play your position. We'll be fine.
What was that like for you on the sideline watching this unfold?
Hope they did what I asked them to do.
Well, let's see if they did.
45 seconds to play. Notre Dame 31, Miami 30, and going for two. Incomplete. This place about to explode. We've said it before and we'll say it again. That's why they play the game. 31-30, Notre Dame over Miami.
I'm taken by your demeanor on the sideline when you win that game against Miami. It's the same demeanor you had at Arkansas when you beat Oklahoma. There's no jumping up and down, Lou Holtz running around like a crazy guy. There, you were very restrained, but I want to ask you what that win against Miami felt like for you and for that team.
Oh, yeah, it was a great win, but your players are going to follow the demeanor you have as the head coach. If you're screaming and hollering and yelling, they'll get the attitude, boy, we're in trouble. Coach is really panicking. And remember this, after the game, beating Miami, that's a big game. But that makes next week's game even bigger. Every time you win a game, the next week's game becomes even bigger.
You're going to take on West Virginia, an undefeated Mountaineers team in the Fiesta Bowl for the national championship. How do you prepare for this game?
The day before the game, we took them to the stadium. One of their gifts was a picture, and everybody takes a picture of their teammates. And then I assigned every senior to be carried off the field by the underclassmen. I had it worked out. You four will carry this senior off. You three will carry this one off. And we practiced carrying them off after the win.
That's how you prepared for the game the day before? You basically prepared the celebration.
Well, we can't celebrate if we don't win, so don't screw me up. But I would joke with, I'd have the game plan on a vanilla folder and I'd say to them, man, this game plan is so great, the Hall of Fame wants it in. The only way you can keep it in the Hall if you don't execute it. Because I want to tell you, it's brilliant right here. Everybody knows it, so don't foul me up. You just joke with them a lot.
Here it is, the 1989 Fiesta Bowl.
Johnson is the man to watch, the fullback, or Rice on a keeper. Johnson, touchdown. So the score is 9-0.
Well, no pressing here.
On third and long, Rice to Ismail for a touchdown.
Lou Holtz, such a master when it comes to utilizing his players.
And there it is, the final seconds tick away, and Notre Dame will duly celebrate a national championship. No doubt the Irish are number one.
What did it feel like for you to win this national championship?
It's just something that they can't take away from you. It's an accomplishment. I'm happy for the players. I've been part of one at Ohio State. And now to win this, you come so close, and you got to be so lucky in so many respects. You know, my wife and I made our decision. We're going to be buried at Notre Dame. Our burial plots are at Notre Dame. And it's on campus, and they're beautiful. They overlook the golf course, which I love, and the Golden Dome. And it's a better view if you're sitting up. But we have it. And the reason, the alums bury me every Saturday, so right. But here's the thing. 3 of our 4 children graduated from Notre Dame. The one place they will always go back to is Notre Dame. They won't always go somewhere, so that's why we're going to be buried at Notre Dame.